Today I'm sharing all of my tips and tricks that I've learned over the years on having an interview style YouTube channel. I'm going to share all of my tools and also some interview tips that will help you have a better video and also make it easier for you to edit. My name is Andrea and I am a marketing manager for a small business, a heating and air conditioning company. And as a part of my job, I have created a YouTube channel. This YouTube channel has been great for our small business. Last year we got 1.5 million views. It makes a little over $1,000 a month, which kind of helps to fund the other marketing initiatives that we do. We also hear from clients that they found us through our YouTube channel, which is the whole purpose of me doing this. This YouTube channel primarily started out just as an interview style. The interview style can be very convenient for a marketing manager who maybe doesn't know a whole lot about this industry. Like personally, I am not an HVAC technician, so I need to interview other HVAC experts in order to be able to get content for our YouTube channel. Let's just start with the nitty-gritty, the tools. I'll start with the microphone first. Now, when I first got started, I was just using the built-in microphone in my MacBook Pro, and that sounds pretty terrible. Here's an example. This is what it sounds like if I were to just use the built-in microphone on my MacBook Pro. I then decided to spend about 20 bucks for this little USB microphone right here. It is an absolute champ. I will link all of these things down below. You can get this on Amazon, but this is a $20 microphone that sounds like this. This is an example of my $20 mic that I have been using for years. I have even sent it to other people that I'm planning on interviewing so that they can have good sound quality too. Now, lights. Here's an example of what it looks like with and without the lights in front of me. This is what it looks like when my lights are off. This is what it looks like when my lights are on. I use two different kinds of lights right now, a ring light and kind of this boxy thing. When I first got started, I would just try to put some lamps in front of my camera so that I would get some light on my face. I did have some pretty terrible lighting back then, but now I'll just turn on these two lamps in front of me and I'm ready to go. I used the webcam in my MacBook Pro for like 2 years, and the channel was successful without changing the webcam that I was using. This camera is the built-in webcam on my MacBook Pro. This is now a different webcam that I have attached to the top of my computer. I just think that it's a little bit clearer. It was also less than $50. Honestly, I think that it's more important to have a good quality microphone and some lights on your face. People are much more forgiving on the type of camera that you're using. If you're wanting to do an interview with somebody and record it, a free application that you can use is just Skype. It's free to call somebody and record your call, and it was very simple to upload and edit on my computer. I did all of my interviews that way. It is easy to set up a Skype account if somebody doesn't have one, and that was just kind of what worked for me. Recently, I have moved over to a paid program called Riverside. It is not much. I think I'm paying less than $20 a month. It has a lot more options for recording your call. You can record in vertical or horizontal format just one time, and it will kind of record it both ways for you, which is amazing if you're wanting to do some shorts or reels. And also, what I like about Riverside is that somebody doesn't need a separate account in order to speak with you. I can just send them a link and they can get into our little studio inside Riverside and we can just go from there. Again, a free way to do an interview for your YouTube channel is to just use Skype. Okay, so now I just want to give you some words of wisdom when you are interviewing somebody that has made my life easier the better and better I get at these skills. One is when you are interviewing somebody and they are in the middle of speaking or answering your question, limit your sounds such as because that is going to be annoying to listen back to. If I'm just having a normal conversation with somebody, that's just something that I naturally do. It's a way to let them know that you're listening and you're understanding or thinking about what they're saying, but don't do it when you're recording. And I also try to sit pretty still so that if I do need to make an edit, it's not totally obvious that I just went from here to here. Maybe, nod my head a little bit or have an expression if I'm reacting to something, but not have a verbal sound. Another tip for when you are interviewing somebody is to let the interviewee shine. The less you speak, the better. If you want to add something at the beginning or at the end to kind of explain something, that's great. I have just found that if I just ask some simple questions and try to let the person that I'm talking to take it from there, that is always a much more interesting video than if I am jumping in sharing like my experience. If I do kind of chime in on something, something, I usually end up editing that out, honestly. Let them speak, let them finish their thought before you interrupt with something that came to your mind. The last thing that I would recommend is, even though you are having an interview style YouTube channel, B-roll is still going to be your best friend when you're trying to make these interviews come to life and be more interesting to watch. I would interview people all the time about heating and air conditioning, so I would kind of overlay on top of our conversation images of air conditioners or video of air conditioning, stuff that goes along with what we're talking about, just to make a little bit more of a visual representation, break up just the kind of monotonous, here's a person here talking, here's a person here talking, and that can look kind of boring visually. So the more B-roll, the better. Don't be afraid to put in titles or little images while you are talking to create some visual interest in the interview. A little bonus tip that I just now thought of is you actually can edit for free. If you have a MacBook or Apple product, iMovie is a totally free editing software that you can use. That is all that I used for about a year and a half until I went over to Final Cut Pro. You can edit for free on iMovie. You could also edit for free on CapCut if you wanted to just like use your phone or your iPad to edit. You can also edit on your phone or iPad in iMovie too. So there's lots of ways that you can create a YouTube channel for your small business without spending a lot of money. And if you are creating this as a marketing manager and you're not the actual one with the industry knowledge, this is a fantastic way to go about doing this by doing it in an interview style. And you really don't need any money at all to get started. You can use the built-in camera on your computer. I would recommend maybe spending 20 bucks on a microphone, maybe 20 bucks on a light. That's pretty much it. Another little bonus tip I will give you too, this is really true for any kind of talking head video, is to also just realize what is behind you in your background. Maybe put a little bit of thought into it as far as what people are going to be looking at if they're mostly just looking at you on the screen. For example, right here, I have this chair because it kind of adds a bit of a frame to the picture. And these things on my wall are just things that I got at Five Below, just to have something nice looking and a little bit less boring than a blank wall. So let me know below if you have been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for your small business. Let me know anything in the comments on questions that you might have or fears or what's kind of hanging you up on starting one. I want to know so I can help you. I am also in the process of making another video that's all about how to make a YouTube channel on the cheap. Like everything that I use is either free or less than 20 bucks. So I hope you subscribe to catch that next video. All of the tools that I mentioned on today's video are in the description below if you are interested in checking those out. I really appreciate that. As always, I hope that you have an amazing week and I will see you in the next video. Bye.